I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we are doing 1991's The Silence of the Lambs. Before we started recording, I shared with you that this movie, I've probably seen this movie no less than 100 times.
Sure.
And I saw it when it came out when I was in high school when this movie came out. And ever since, you get the initial shock from the movie because it's a very heavy, shocking movie.
Yes.
And since then, the amount of quotable lines from this movie is it's insane.
And it's the quotes are for pure comic purposes.
Oh yeah.
Only. It's not to intimidate anyone.
No.
Which is remarkable.
It's fantastic. I think we should jump right into this whole thing.
I'll be watching. You'll do fine.
This movie the cast is amazing. So Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling. You have Scott Glenn as Jack Crawford. Obviously, Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know.
You mean the guy from Remains of the Day?
The movie opens up with Clarice in the FBI Academy, running through the obstacle course, whatnot. She gets called into Jack Crawford's office because he wants to give her an assignment, even though she's a cadet. Yeah, she's at the top of her class, but she's a fucking cadet in the FBI. She hasn't even graduated yet. And he's like, yeah, we're just interviewing serial killers to see if they can help us out with cases. You're going to interview the most notorious serial killer ever, Hannibal Lecter.
The psychiatrist Hannibal Lecter.
Just so matter of fact. Who are you interviewing? Oh, the Spawn Ranch guy, Charles Manson. Wait.
And it was just oh, okay. And then there's a whole list of rules.
Do not touch the glass. Do not approach the glass. No pencils or pens. No staples or paper clips in his paper. If he attempts to pass you anything, do not accept it.
Dude, I'd be like Kevin Hart in Central Intelligence.
Hey, well, I need a second. You got to step outside. I gotta take a shit. This is a lot.
You're going fast.
Well,
way too fast.
And not only that, she gets to Dr. Frederick Chilton's. Is it Anthony Heald or Held?
Sexual monster is what I call him. Aggressive. Aggressive.
He plays. I mean, his role here is disgusting, but he does a fantastic job of it.
It's a piece of shit on every level. He's if John Mahoney's character from Say Anything became a shrink. That's it.
He just decided to sexually harass everybody.
We get a lot of detectives here, but I must say I can't ever remember one as attractive. Will you be in Baltimore overnight? Because this can be quite a fun town if you have the right guide.
And the second she's like, no, she doesn't even really be like, oh, no, you're fucking gross, which you are. He looks like one of those white dudes that puts extra mayo in his tuna fish sandwich. And she just oh, I got to fly back home, only here for a night. He's like, whatever, bitch, let's go.
Yeah.
Immediately shuts down.
Then they get down to the bottom of the stairs in this, dungeon where they keep Hannibal Lecter. And he gives her more rules, don't get close to the glass, don't, stay to the right side, do all this.
Watch out for flying jizz.
Whatever. And she was like, well, I'm just going to do this by myself. And he's like,
You might have suggested this in my office and saved me the time.
Yeah.
Fuck out of my face. But all of these rules that Jack Crawford gives her, that Dr. Chilton gives her, that Barney, the guy that's there guarding the area, none of those things are ever paid attention to or done. They're stay to the right side. She's got her face pressed up against the glass talking to Hannibal Lecter. Don't share personal shit. I'm sharing all kinds of personal shit. It's It's a shit show from the beginning.
Bitches be shopping, man.
But and the shot was great because as she's walking in, it's just it's so creepy and
oh, it looks like a medieval fucking cat. Like this isn't Shutter Island. This isn't like the 1960s where we're just like, what's wrong with them? I have a migraine headache. Electroshock therapy. Fuck it. And this is like a dank, drip ass place.
Yep.
Like this dungeon should not exist.
Well, and
it's crazy. And for them to think of a punishment later where we're just going to make you watch biblical TV on full volume. You're in a dungeon and that's the best torture you could come up with?
Sure, why not?
Somebody needs to bring an Iron Maiden up in this motherfucker. That's all I know.
But Crawford, so after she initially interviews Hannibal and gives him like the little thing, whatever, she goes to leave.
That scene where he does the...
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
The thing?
Yeah.
Like where he starts sucking through his teeth? That was improv. And that wasn't in the script. And not I think his first take of sucking wind through the teeth, but her reaction was her actual like that was the first take they got of her.
Oh, no kidding. On
that improv, yeah. So that like actual shock and horror was her just rolling with that scene. I thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool. The Crawford tells Clarice that this is basically a one-time interview. In the next scene, he has her investigating a lead on Miss Moffat.
Yep.
And flying to Baltimore to find out what's going on with that. Because she reads into what...
She was already in Baltimore at the asylum.
So...
Just stop while you're there. Her badge it doesn't expire for like a week. Just do it now, because if you got to come home and catch a commercial flight back, bro.
But it was supposed to, like, this whole thing was supposed to be just, like, her interviewing him, her writing up a report, and that was, like, it. And now she's, like, the lead on the Buffalo Bill murder case.
Because she got somewhere.
But she finds...
She has a rapport with Hannibal.
I guess. So she finds the head at the storage facility. Hannibal offers to help Clarice by giving her the psychological profile of Buffalo Bill if, he gives her whatever, her intimate details about her life.
Quid pro quo. I tell you things, you tell me things. Not about this case, though. About yourself.
Quid pro quo, Clarice. I understand that he's, this renowned psychiatrist and has a brilliant mind, especially in this because he's an actual serial killer. Jack Crawford's unit is behavioral sciences.
Yes.
Bill has killed at least 5 that we know of.
Yes.
Because of the newspaper article when Clarice is first in Crawford's office.
Yeah.
How the fuck does this team not have a profile already worked up? You're supposed to be better than these guys.
Exactly.
That's your entire purpose of being.
Yep.
You're not an investigative unit. You're a fucking behavioral sciences unit. All you do is build profiles.
Yes. Yes. But they
unbelievable.
Cut to from all of that. Cut to Catherine Martin, played by Brooke Smith, young Brooke Smith, getting abducted by Buffalo Bill.
I got it this far. I just can't get it up in the truck. Get in the truck, and I want to push it all the way up. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's time for a PSA on this one. Never, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, never help somebody move anything.
Listen,
ever.
Here's
because they will fucking throw you in the back of a van. Facts.
I'll help you with shit. But if you're like, hey, can you help me with this shit in the back of my van? If you sound like that, I ain't helping you.
Turn around, because I want to put it all the way. Fuck you, turn around. Are you kidding? You're pushing me into your van where I have no escape.
So here's the question.
And by the way, that's a senator's daughter.
Thank you.
Where the fuck is her detail? At least she should have somebody, at least a fucking locator.
Fuck the detail. Where is she living? It's like the most shitty apartment of all time. And there was no security anywhere. Like, you would have at least the building security make sure you got in okay.
Something.
But
just
that was
something.
That was the question.
She's walking into an apartment I could afford when I was like 22.
Exactly.
That's absurd.
Oh. But yeah, so Crawford is taking Clarice to West Virginia now after this because she gets a call that there's another possible Buffalo Bills situation.
Saddle up, pack your field gear. You're moving out, you go with Crawford.
Where?
Found a girl's body down in West Virginia. Been in the water about a week. Looks like a Buffalo Bill type situation.
This is where they find the first body.
The guy that grabs her while she's back in her training class and is like, hey, we got a Buffalo Bill situation, knows literally every fucking detail of this case.
Yes.
Oh, it's Frederica Johansson. She's fucking lives at 532 West 5th Avenue. It's fucking ridiculous that that guy would have that much detail. Hey, trainee, I'm pulling you out. Yeah. Why? Shut the fuck up. That's why.
Exactly.
Now move.
So she has a possible Buffalo Bills situation. So now she's like going from training to I'm on a case. Like now she's officially on the damn case.
Nancy Drew is on the case.
This is where Crawford explains that his plan was to have Clarice get the info from Hannibal to help catch Buffalo Bill.
That's why you sent me in there, isn't it? To get his help on Buffalo Bill, sir?
But then it just goes back to, like, she's a cadet. You couldn't find anybody a little bit more qualified for this activity.
Well, I get it. They wanted to throw him off, his curiosity.
I understand it. I'll give it a pass. I won't go back to it.
But this is also where, like, in this era that we live in, the Me Too era that we live in, they were so far ahead of the curve because literally every man but Hannibal Lecter and, like, Barney
yes,
fucking either are trying to fuck her or treat her like she's shit.
She even gets hit on by, like, the nerd doctor guy.
The wanky-eyed fellow?
That because they discover the moth in the first chick's mouth. And she goes to just get some explanation from, you know, where does these types of moths come from and yada yada. And this dude has got like a glass eyes like, hey.
You ever go out for cheeseburgers and beer? The amusing house wine?
Do you like watching a couple of nerds play fucking bug chess? Because if you do, I'm your guy.
This is where it's at.
Unbelievable.
But Clarice...
And the way he says yes, like she goes, "Are you hitting on me?" And he goes, "Yes."
Are you hitting on me, Doctor?
Yes.
Her and her, I think it's her roommate in this movie.
Yeah.
Her and her roommate are both treated like trash in any scene that they're in. And she actually says something to Crawford about it.
Yeah.
Because, well, actually, he brings it up.
When I told that sheriff we shouldn't talk in front of a woman, that really burned you, didn't it?
Well, yeah, you just fucking made me look like I'm not an FBI agent.
Exactly. And she was just like, you know, words matter, sir. And he's like...
Well, she said, you know, what those cops look up to you and look to you to how to act. And she's 100% correct.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Again, for the head of the behavioral sciences unit, you don't know shit about psychology.
Yeah. Well,
sociology, any of it.
You have a cadet that basically tells you, sir.
Matters, Mr. Crawford. Cops look at you to see how to act. Matters.
Point taken.
What I really did like was the exposition at Buffalo Bill's place. And it was because it's the quick pan through, like, his house and him sewing and doing all that. it's the best exposition without saying anything that
they do that through the whole movie too.
Yeah.
Like with her training and, missing the corner.
Yep.
Showing like, well, she can do it.
Yeah.
She's just still so fucking raw.
Yeah.
Just the whole, and I think that's part of her breaking the rules too.
Yeah. But then Clarice goes back to the facility to see Hannibal again. Dr. Chilton is an asshole to her once again because apparently it was just a one-time thing and she broke all the rules and whatever. And she basically tells him to eat a bag of dicks. She's like,
This is the number for the U.S. Attorney's Office. Please, I think you discuss this with him or you let me do my job. You understand?
Like, I don't actually have to take your shit anymore.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be here.
But then Hannibal Lecter gives Clarice the info that she needs.
Yep.
On Buffalo Bill. Cut to Buffalo Bill with Catherine in the hole.
It rubs the lotion on its skin. It does this whenever it's told.
Mister, my family will pay cash. Whatever ransom you're asking for, they'll pay it.
This whole scene is amazing.
It's so ridiculous.
It from the...
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
To...
Put the fucking lotion in the basket!
There's so many quotables just from that little pocket. And it's such a great scene. Like, yes. It's amazing. And it's so... Take the humor of those lines away, and it's so fucking creepy.
This is... this is the risk you run, I think, with any of these good cop, serial killer drama things.
Yeah.
Once you've watched it once, it's very difficult to go back and watch it again without having a sense of humor about some of these lines, because it's just, the shock value's gone at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to go back after this and you've seen it once, twice, three, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
You're going to watch it and you're going to laugh at all the same parts. If you've never seen this movie before, the first time you're going to be like, fuck.
Well, if you watch this...
Because, like, that actor, the guy that plays Buffalo Bill, literally cannot play anything other than a horrible person.
Yes.
Ever again. Like, I saw the original Fast and the Furious the other day, and he's like Paul Walker's boss in the LAPD.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking the whole time, like, he's going to fucking cut all of you up alive.
Exactly. Well, so I have a couple of questions. When she goes back to see Hannibal Lecter, Dr. Chilton gives her shit.
Yep.
She offers Hannibal a deal,
which
we find out is a fake deal.
Yep.
That they'll transfer him, or they have a view and all that stuff. He gives her quid pro quo, gives her the info that she needs. He gets some personal information from her. Dr. Chilton takes that information and goes to the senator himself, sets up his own deal, and they go to, like, he goes to Hannibal to sign the deal that the senator puts together, right? There's a big thing about the pen. He uses the pen to escape, but does he? Because the pen disappears. Chilton can't find the pen. So it's assumed that Hannibal steals it. But when he goes to undo the cuffs, it's like a little pin that he has. He's not using the... Like, I don't know if I missed something or if that was just a...
No, I don't know if he took the pen apart or what. But
an oversight in the movie or what.
Yeah, that was really dramatic. And I was like, oh, shit, the pen. And then I was like, even thinking right at that point, I don't think he uses a pen to get out of those handcuffs.
He doesn't. So they transfer him to what, like a hotel? An art museum? A
ballroom?
They transfer him somewhere in this huge, like, MMA cage fighting.
Oh, yeah, he's basically, that's what it is. He's at the MGM Grand in the middle of WrestleFucking-Mania.
So, but they have him guarded by 2 guards.
Yep.
Which,
well, the entire Memphis PD's downstairs.
for what reason? I don't fucking know. Because this dude is like the most notorious serial killer, psychological, will fuck with you, all this stuff. You got 2 moron cops guarding him. Fine. He's in a cage. He's not going anywhere. But then he breaks out of this cage. And I got fucking questions galore about this whole scene. Because they go to bring him his meal. They handcuff him to the cage so he can't attack them. Obviously, one of the iconic scenes was him getting transported with the little face guard mask thing, right? Why wouldn't you just keep that on him?
They foreshadowed it.
His mouthpiece and restraints were removed for an EKG. When the nurse leaned over him, he did this to her. The doctors managed to reset her jaw, more or less, save one of her eyes.
New guy's taking care of him.
I guess.
Sleeping on the job.
So he gets handcuffed, but he breaks out of the handcuffs. One guy goes in to put the food down and decides to, I don't know, clean it up. Clean up the area where he's going to put the food down.
Mind the drawings, please.
He's also a fucking concierge. So he goes to do that. The other guy is standing in the doorway of the cell. He handcuffs the one guy. He bites the other guy's face. And then, but my biggest question isn't even his great escape.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest question is, how much fucking time does he have?
That would be my one question. He hollows the dude's stomach out.
Yeah, he guts him, hangs him in a very elaborate manner.
Yeah, like flowing angel wing sheets behind him, and
yeah, and
the lighting was even perfect.
Yeah, exactly. He moved the lighting around just to.
Yeah.
But not only does he have time to do that, he also has time to get out of his clothes, switch it with the cop's clothes, very precisely cut the cop's face off, put it on his face, throw the cop down the elevator chute, and then go back and lay down and pretend that he's the cop. So time being a factor was my one thing. The second thing, when I first watched the movie, because there's so much going on, you're not really paying attention. When I watch it this time around, that motherfucker looks like Anthony Hopkins with a fucking skin mask on.
Oh, it looks like Anthony Hopkins, like somebody just boiled part of his face.
So he doesn't have the same body type. He doesn't have the same anything. And you have paramedics there trying to resuscitate him, and they put like the towel over his face. They are working so closely on this guy. The other cop is like, I know who he is. He's a cop. I've worked with him. He's talking to him. Recognize it looks a little bit like Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, maybe you're shitting your pants. You saw one cop with his fucking guts hanging out, looking like the perfect angel. And
Fair.
I mean,
I'm not sure.
I'm going to think clearly when that situation goes down.
Yeah.
I just know common folk won't.
Well, I mean, again, great fucking movie, but just this whole scene is I had questions about.
Yeah, this whole scene was so the cinematographer could jump in and get his award too.
Yeah, pretty much. But like, I don't know. For me, you could take this one big piece, this one, it's probably to a total of 15 minutes. You could probably remove that from the movie. Yep. And it's still the same movie. And it's still just as creepy and still as great.
Yeah.
Personally. Before we move on, after they hear the gunshots, the cops go up the stairs into the room to find the dude gutted, right?
Yep.
When the cops kick in the door into the thing, I don't know if you noticed this or not.
They fan out like Charlie's Angels.
I literally wrote in my notes, it looks like Charlie's Angels except for one cop. Because the door is literally butted up against a wall. So when they kick it in, this door's here, and then there's the whole cage and everything, right? They fan out like Charlie's Angels. One cop turns around and points at the ceiling. for no fucking reason whatsoever.
Somebody forgot to tell that extra that was the next scene in the elevator.
It's one of the funniest fucking things. I rewound it 3 times and watched it. I just thought that was fucking hilarious. But so they realize that Hannibal Lecter gets away.
Yeah.
They get him in the ambulance. He kills everybody in the ambulance, kills a tourist, and he bounces. Jack Crawford calls Clarice and says, "Hey, you're out in Belvedere, Ohio, doing some research on the first girl that they found."
Yep.
The first girl that was...
Because they assumed that the killer knew her.
Yes. So she was doing that. He was flying to, like, Chicago because they said, oh, we found out where this guy lives. We're going there. Which, when you're first watching this movie, turns out to be a great ending scene. A lot of movies since then have used this, like...
Yes.
The cops are breaking in, and he hears the doorbell, but it's 2 different houses.
That was so good.
The way it was shot, the way they did it, the way it was written was so great. And again, more quotable lines at the end of this. Catherine is in the hole, trying to get, the dog in there.
She's in a lot of pain, mister. She needs a vet.
Hey, don't you hurt my dog!
Don't you make me hurt your dog!
The cops breaking in, and then you have Clarice basically figuring out, like, okay, it's this lady who knows him, so she goes to that. Buffalo Bill killed that lady and basically is squatting in her house.
This is my prop, okay? Why do you have to be a disgusting fucking pig? If you're this meticulous serial killer.
Again, because it makes for good cinema.
You have the shining bathtub, and the old lady just chilling in it.
It looked like a skeleton rotted in dog food.
It was disgusting. Fucking moths flying around. You see his kitchen table. There's just disgusting to-go boxes everywhere. Dishes piled up. You're not killing 365. She's putting the lotion on and you're done for the day. All you're trying to do is get that skin moist so you can cut it up nice.
Hell yeah.
Clean your fucking house.
I want to know.
So disgusting.
I want to know how he found a house with a well in it.
Because he called the dude from Kiss the Girls. Don't be fucking ridiculous. They had the same realtor. Stupid. Next question. That was the most ridiculous question you've ever asked on this show.
Sorry, my bad.
Where did he find a house with a dungeon in it?
But again, because, listen, I know the house is filthy, but when Clarice realizes, there's a couple of questions I have here. Because you have funny line, because he answers the door, and she's like looking for the lady, and she's like,
oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person?
Right there. Like, not even the fat, just like what? Hi, I'm looking for the Lipman family.
No, Lipmans don't live here anymore.
You're under arrest. You're fucking under arrest right now. Because there's no fucking way a normal, non-crazy person is talking like that, wearing those clothes, has that. You are fucked up in some way. I know you have committed you at least have 12 cats in there, and that's illegal. You're under arrest.
The minute you answer the door and your pants aren't buttoned, your belt buckle isn't done, and your pants are unzipped, you're under arrest, sir. Yeah. And then as soon as I see that your kitchen and everything looks like a serial killer's kitchen, there's 3 things before she even enters the house that you're under arrest for.
Yeah. Dude, I've seen enough live PD. You can put them in handcuffs and detain them before they're under arrest.
And then I wondered 2 more things. So she goes in, she realizes it's him.
Yep.
She says, get your hands up. I'm sorry, I'm shooting first. This dude's already skinned 5 women.
The second he's like, and like falling all the business cards out, you're getting shot in the knee, bro.
And turn around, spread your legs. Spread your legs.
You're getting so shot in the knee.
He does this like he does when he drops all the cards and then he like turns around and he starts to slink away. I'm putting 4 in your back, bro.
Yeah.
Immediately. So he gets a gun, he disappears. And then he goes into the basement. She follows him into the basement. He turns off all the lights, right? He's got night vision goggles because, you know, he's Will Ferrell and Step Brothers.
Can you imagine if we had these when we were 12?
Even better. We got them when we're 40.
He follows her in the basement for, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds. And then he takes his gun out to shoot her.
That was my problem. Like, your own hubris fucking got you killed, dumbass.
And
all
then,
you had to do was not be egotistical and be like, oh, I fucking got her, I'm gonna touch her hair. You didn't have to do that, dude.
Let me touch her hair.
That's where Travolta got the idea for the face wiping and face off.
But yeah, so she hears the click of the gun, she turns around, shoots him. And then she goes to her, is it her graduation? Is that the end scenes? Yep. She goes to her graduation, and she gets like this golf clap when they announce her name. Like, she caught Buffalo Bill.
Not caught him. Straight up killed him and rescued a senator's daughter.
Yes. And you got a golf clap?
From just the other cadets. Where the fuck is the news media? Where is the senator and her daughter? Ungrateful assholes.
And one more question.
Where's the family members of everybody that Bill killed?
When law enforcement comes after she shoots Buffalo Bill, right? And they're escorting Catherine out of the house. Yes. She still has the dog.
Oh, they bonded. They're bros now.
I was just like, is she fucking stealing the dog?
Don't you hurt my dog!
You know.
Why wouldn't you take the dog? That's my
I guess she's owed the dog at least.
Oh, at least.
You know. And then they leave it hanging with Hannibal.
Which is when Hannibal officially becomes a good guy, by the way.
How's that?
Because he's going to eat that son of a bitch Chilton.
Eat
all of that gristly motherfucker.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner.
My one question before we wrap this mug up is, the whole point is he's making a dress, right?
Yes.
He's going Ed Gein, cutting up the lady backs.
Yeah, which we do see.
Yeah, like he's starting to put it together.
Yeah.
We also see him during the tuck scene, and he's, backing up, and you get to see his full frontal.
Yes.
Dude, just get your dick cut off. Your bod is fucking badass. Are you kidding me? Why are you making a fat girl dress?
Because Hannibal actually says this.
Billy is not a real transsexual, but he thinks he is. He tries to be. He's tried to be a lot of things, I expect.
So I think that's where that whole thing comes into play. Like, he's just a fucking psycho murderer, but...
Okay, well, hey, good time for another PSA, kids. You're confused about your sexuality, don't make a fat girl dress. Figure it out another way.
You're going to have to.
It gets better.
I mean, it does. It does. And you won't go to prison if, so.
Or get shot by Clarice Starling.
I think I know the answer. Good movie, bad movie, does it stand the test of time? All of the above questions.
Yes to all. It's a great movie.
Fucking
Still,
love this movie.
Totally stands the test of time. It's probably better now, like I said, with the Me Too shit going on.
Yeah.
It is better now and more relevant now than it probably was in 92 or whenever it came out.
Yeah, I think it's funny you say that, because when I watched it this time around, given the climate of 2020, it did. I'm sure it was just as relevant then as it is now, but back then it was just kind of glossed over.
Well, yeah, we're over 40-year-old white men. We're got to give us a minute to catch up. It's like, holy shit, this movie's woke. Like, yeah, motherfucker, welcome.
But yeah, it's one thing about that movie that I didn't really catch the first, 90 times I saw the film.
I thought it was odd. They made a lot of really weird shots from her perspective of the men staring back at her.
Yeah.
And I remember that always being odd, but I really didn't understand why.
Yeah.
And now watching, it's just like, holy shit.
Yeah, no, that's that's like the, I don't know what, the C plot, D plot in this movie is.
That's her versus misogyny is fucking a bigger plot line than Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's why Hannibal and her have that connection, because he's the only one that doesn't sexualize her or trivialize her or think she's stupid or any of that shit.
Exactly. No, I absolutely 100%. When you texted me that this is the movie you wanted to do, I was like, hell yes. I knew it wouldn't disappoint.
No.
It's one of those movies that I see every now and again. Anytime it's on, I'll watch it. This absolutely stands the test of time. It's still a phenomenal movie.
Yes.
And I'll probably watch it another 100 or 200 times.
I probably won't. This is, again, I said it earlier in the show, this is one of those movies where I'll watch it every now and again, every couple years. Because it's just, you forget about all of the incredible acting and writing.
Yeah.
And the way the plot is driven by the director is fantastic.
Yeah.
And you forget all of that if you keep watching it every time it's on TV, if you're me, because you just piss your pants laughing every time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make it a comedy.
It's not a comedy. Still a great movie, but I will still watch it and I will still laugh at...
What's the fucking lotion in the basket?
And...
Oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person?
Yeah, she was a big girl, sir.
So,
watch it free on Amazon Prime.
Yes. Yes. And before we head out, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all of that wonderful stuff. And if you don't have anything else for the people, for Corey...
I'm good.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Pretty good.
For Corey,
pretty good.
I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1991's The Silence of the Lambs.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.